Hi, Bonnie.
Hey,
Hi,
good
Bobby.
morning, Carrie and Morgan. How you guys doing this morning?
Good,
Doing
thank you. How you
great.
doing?
It's so great to see you. Honestly, I don't think I could love a show more than The Gilded Age. And I got to tell
Thank you
you
so much.
how crazy I am that I went to Newport this summer and did the mansion tour, the Vanderbilt mansion tour. Holy crap, man. I
Fantastic.
mean, okay, Morgan, let's
Yes.
Yeah.
just start with you because I want to know what it's like to be immersed in a show like this and a world like this. And then having the Russells emerge is such a great power couple.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so glad you went and looked at those mansions in Newport. I think everyone should, because there
Oh,
actually aren't that many places in America where you can really go and see what this wealth meant and what these people did. Those places are so bizarre. The way that they're decorated, the way that they went to Europe and they were just like, I want all of this, put all of it in my house. I don't care, none of it goes together. Just take all of it, shove it in my house.
Mhm.
It's crazy and it's amazing, and I think it's a really wonderful window into the eccentricity of this social class. But yeah, I get, as an actor, getting to be immersed in a world where your production design, your costume design, all of it creates this sort of sumptuous atmosphere that you can just immerse yourself in and play
yeah.
is really wonderful. And yeah, I mean, the audience response to George and Bertha has been incredibly gratifying. Carrie and I have a wonderful time playing these parts. They are fun, and because they're so they're very free
Yeah.
characters. They don't acknowledge any limits to their power, and so they give themselves a lot of privileges.
Yeah, Carrie, congratulations on bringing Bertha to life. My God, you're so amazing. I've been in love with you for so many years. The Leftovers is still one of my all-time favorite shows.
Oh,
Same.
But
thank you.
I
Very
gotta tell
special.
you, Carrie, when I first saw Bertha in the very first season, I was like, I don't know if I like her. Now I'm seriously in love with what you've done with her. What this season in particular with the whole opera wars and everything. What's it like for you to take these true events, but then also have to sprinkle in some fictional moments and get to play with it a little bit?
Well, lucky for me, everything I have to do is on the page. Julian knows his audience and he knows how to write these kinds of characters. He certainly makes sure that the interpersonal stories are engaging, even as he's pulling us through some of the history of the time. For
Yeah.
me, it's a pleasure to get to experience those events that I didn't maybe wasn't really taught necessarily at school. And things like the school board wars in Brooklyn and that sort of amazing black middle class you never see depicted in this era. That's
Yes.
really delicious for me to see. The Emily Roebling story with the Brooklyn Bridge. I mean, that's a story I did know, but I'm glad that it's getting out to a wider audience because I know a lot of people have never heard of Emily Roebling. So
Yeah.
that's the fun part of it. I'm a good student and a nerd at heart, so I love reading. I dressed up as Edith Wharton in fourth grade, I think. So I really was waiting for something like this to come along, and it's a delight. And those Newport mansions, they lived in those mansions for 6 weeks out of the year. It's just
Yes.
absurd. So
It,
it's a very
yeah.
far from me in terms of my own life, and it's fun to get to do anything that's that far from you.
Yeah, 100%. And Morgan, I understand in terms of the whole opera scenario and everything that's been happening in season two, you have a personal connection to the Met, correct?
I do, yes. Yeah, my late mother-in-law was an international opera star,
Yeah.
my wife's mother. And Maria Ewing was her name. And I think opera lovers will be familiar with her, will be familiar with her name and her work. And she performed many times at the Met. My wife would, as a kid, would sort of be hanging out backstage, just running up and down the stairs there. And yes, it's fun to go there and to bring my daughter there and be able to tell her about her
Yeah.
time.
What was it like to be, to just play out these scenes and then have had that history? How cool is that?
It's very cool. Yeah, I have not historically been an opera connoisseur, but yeah, this has been sort of a way in for me to engage with it as an art form.
Yeah, wonderful. Carrie, I can't not have this interview and talk about I mean, both of you wear phenomenal clothes, costumes. It's just
Mhm.
ridiculous. But Carrie, I mean, every episode, like it gets better and more grand and more beautiful. The costumes.
Mhm.
Tell me about the fittings for those costumes and like, oh my God, just what a gift.
It is a gift. And I can tell you that every single detail you see has been mulled over and researched extensively. So any choice we make, our costume designer, Kasha, can back up with historical references. So we've taken a little criticism sometimes for, a slip of a sleeve that's not a full sleeve, but she will absolutely be able to present you with historical references for it. But I think what's really smart about the design is that Kasha's also the people who are forward thinking, like Bertha. My costumes are a little bit ahead of the period, as she would have been, because as audiences, we've seen this time period depicted now many, many times, and people who
Sure.
enjoy this time period have seen all of it. And so you have to, in order to engage a modern audience in the proper way, you have to push the design to the modern eye as well. So there's a lot of almost couture that's unfolding in those episodes, and it's just, I mean, I'm gobsmacked by some of the younger women's dresses too. And the level of detail is, I hope she gets a museum exhibit, because you have to be able to see them up close. They're extraordinary.
Oh, I would die to
Extraordinarily
see
inspiring.
that. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And, we also have to talk about the Broadway stars that are filled with this show. My God, I'm a Broadway babe. And Morgan, let's start with you because it's just a cornucopia of Broadway veterans. I mean, what's it like to be on set with some of these people? My goodness.
I mean, yeah, I came up in the theater and have
Yeah.
been on, and especially in New York, that was always the sort of world that I looked to. And so, these people are kind of legends in that world. I mean, not kind of, they're absolute legends in that world. And the idea that, one day you're on set with Christine Baranski and Cynthia Nixon and Nathan Lane and Audra McDonald and Kelly O'Hara. And even, Danae Benton is Tony nominated. Like there's no one, it is even Jeremy Shamus, I've seen him in 5 Broadway shows, and he's comes in for a couple of character parts. I mean, these are
Yeah.
really extraordinary talents. Michael Cerveris, like
Yeah.
it's and also the thing is, like, we're seeing what you see on our show. I think brilliant performances from all these people, but you're seeing the tip of the iceberg of their talent. You know what I mean?
Yes.
These are people who could go and sing an entire opera for you anytime they needed to. So yeah, it's
Yeah, and
wild. It's a
yeah,
pinch me
and
sort of
Carrie,
moment.
yeah, Carrie, for you, like just to go toe to toe like you're doing with Nathan Lane, but also with Donna Murphy. I mean,
Mhm.
Bertha and Mrs. Astor. I look, I know you both have been acting for forever and you're both so fantastic, but Carrie, what's it like to be, to do these
Well,
scenes with these people?
my husband and I say, "Oh, and they're actually talented," because really the breadth of talent is extraordinary. They do so much more that I could do. But also the best part of it, honestly, is the stories.
Yeah.
Listening to Donna Murphy and Kelly O'Hara talk about a time they were pregnant on stage and wearing a hoop skirt and that's the best part, is being backstage with them, or hearing Kelly, rehearse the opera in her dressing room, or hearing Danae singing in her dressing room. I mean, it's just or hearing, Nathan Lane and his droll, dry manner, just making everyone laugh at a dinner party in between takes. It's all really, really pleasurable, and it is like high echelon theater camp. It's really
Mm.
it's the most fun. It's really the fun,
Nathan
and they're
works blue.
just inspiring. What's
Yeah.
that?
Nathan works
Yeah,
blue. He's not afraid.
yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. I would love to be a fly on the wall when you guys shoot this show. I just can't thank you enough for such a wonderful 2 seasons. I know what happens in the finale. I can't wait for everybody to see it. And please come back for season 3. I need more of these people. So thank you so much and happy holidays to
We'd
you
love
both.
to.
Thank
Thank you
you.
Thank you, Bonnie. We hope so
so
too.
much.
Take care.
Cheers.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
All right.